What up, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Friends of Princess, SoundCloud, SoundClick, my neighbors, my new neighbors. Got some new neighbors. My old neighbors. I know you guys aren't gonna watch this video, but what's up to you too? You know what I'm saying? It's what it is. Uh, but this is another Why I Left Atlanta series, but this didn't happen to me in. Yeah, it's got something to do with Atlanta. But I want to talk about family, and the reason why this is a Why I Left Atlanta series because we've been talking about getting money, straight up. And something happened to me recently where I had a surplus, of cash. I've never made a lot of money. I'm just not that. I've never really cared about making a whole lot of money. I just wanted to make a living, get a fat booty wife, and have some children. It just didn't work out for me, and I'm not depressed about it or anything. No, but it didn't work out for me that way. But a lot of that was because of money. And then I started thinking, when I started looking at these people who got money and how they going through all these divorces and, cats is end up doing wild stuff, and they had money. Like money is not the reason all the time. Like money is not always the cure. But nonetheless, so this is what happened to me. And this didn't happen when I was in Atlanta. But my sister lives there. I had a couple of sisters live there at one time. Uh, so basically, this is like a family thing that happened. So what? Basically, I was on my way to work, 2013. Uh, this happened to me here where I live now. I'm not in Atlanta. This brother crossed my lane, boom, hit me head on, pow. Totaled my van. I asked him why he did it. He just didn't really say nothing worth listening to. He's like, you was just coming so fast. He didn't apologize or nothing. His passenger went to the hospital. You know, you know. I smashed her door in because of the way he hit me. When I say he turned right in front of me and he hit the brakes right in front of me, he meant for the whole accident to happen. So I don't know if this dude was on had some mental illness or wanted to die, or he wanted her to die, or he wanted me to die. But black people, because he could have just kept going and went right up and onto the because it was right in front of like one of them little marts, places you get some chips. I thought he was just gonna pull right up, how you keep going, but he didn't. He stopped right in front of me, so pow, and it was raining too, so I couldn't stop no matter what. I just hydroplane smacked him on my way to work, right? So anyway, long story short, uh, I filed for disability because I could no longer do the work I was doing. I was working at a car factory. You know what I'm saying? And I was doing promotions. And car factory, you gotta be able to, bend and all that. And so, you know what I'm saying? I was working at Honda for a temporary service, but I was making good money going out there. And all that just went to the pits. So basically, I lost my vehicle. I couldn't work. I had one other vehicle and it had broke down on me, so I had to sell it. I almost lost my apartment. Like everything came crashing down on me at once. Like I really needed money. I'm a veteran, so I kept going down to veteran services. They cut me off. So they're like, you can't come back here anymore. You exhausted us. And another veteran service was just like, we can only help you once. I literally had to go and I had to pretty much sell a lot of stuff in my house in order to make my rent and then try to get these little jobs and stuff, but I couldn't do what I used to do. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't get the money I'm used to having, and I didn't have a savings. Know this, people. I didn't have a savings, and so I sold my truck that had broke down. I got $1,100 for that. I was able to pay my rent. Like I said, I couldn't work that much. And the next month, of course, I was like, okay, how am I going to pay next month? And I didn't quite have enough money. I went over to one of them places where you borrowed money from. I borrowed money from them against, my military stipend that comes in once a month, which is, not that much. And they were only able to give me so much. And I was like, I actually need like another 75 bucks. And this sister, black woman, young lady, she was just like, look, I'm gonna get you this money, but you have to promise to bring it back. I said, I promise you, I'll bring it back. And I bring it back to her, and then my settlement came through. I had a couple of them come through. I had my injury settlement come through, and then I had my SSDI come through, and I got I had, a boatload of money. But for somebody who's never really had a lot of money, my immediate thought was, now that I'm taken care of, I'm gonna go take care of my family. No, I didn't have like millions of dollars. I had like 15 grand, a little bit more than that. And like I said, I was taken care of. I knocked out all my bills, and my other money came in from the insurance, and I went and got me another vehicle. You know, uh, and I stopped going to those other jobs because they were still hurting me, and I couldn't really do them without being hurt. And I'm in pain every day, but I still was trying to get money. But I was like, I'm done, so I'm not going to work for a while. But I went and visit my dad, had a family reunion, visit my dad. That was cool. Went and visit my sister in the same year. And when I went down there, I refurnished my sister's house, which I don't really have a problem with, but then they had to borrow some money from me. I never saw it back, and then just one thing to another. And you trying to take care of your family, and and then I was just very nice to people that was around me, even people who did not like me. I didn't know they didn't like me as much as I know now. Like, wait, I'm doing all this and y'all don't even like me. I was like, okay, we'll see. But nonetheless, I didn't know that they didn't like me to this extent. Like, they hated me all this time and I didn't know it. But nonetheless, I had some other neighbors I was nice to, and if they needed a ride, my one neighbor, he had a baby. I went over there and gave him $100. They didn't really like me. My other neighbors, I would take them out to eat and stuff because I live by myself. I just did stuff just to be neighborly. It backfired on me in the worst way, but nonetheless, you know, uh, that's what I did. And plus, I wouldn't work that often. And of course, my money just went down, down, down. The money I'd loaned out, I never got back. And, I think the last little bit of it went away about 2 months ago. I had a couple huge payments and I paid them, and I was like, oh my God, my account is zero. I was like, oh heavens of Bessie, and this is like maybe a year and some change. Like, I didn't hold on to that money, and I wasn't making a lot of money to replace it. I was making some. So don't just think I was sitting down doing nothing. I was making some money, but I wasn't making as much money. I didn't have enough coming in as I had going out. And I didn't care. Like I said, if I had a few $1,000s in the bank, I was like, I'm good, because I don't have any extravagant, um, like, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't go to the club, I don't have a girlfriend. Uh, so I don't have any of those things that you really need to spend
Dominic.
a lot of money on. You know what I'm saying? Women cost money, you know what I'm saying? But I had neighbors at the time, and so I would go, and and they had kids, and and even them, I'd be like, hey, you guys want some Chipotle? I don't even eat Chipotle. I would, go and go and get one of them, be like, I'm going to UDF. You guys want some? And my other neighbors, I did some stuff with them. You know what I'm saying? I was just that type of dude because it's just me here. My family, I took care of them as much as I was going to. They're not getting no more money out of me. What I'm saying is, I did it wrong. I did it all wrong. Because family will drain you. They will drain your pockets. They were even asking me for money even after I didn't have any, and I just say no. I hang up the phone now. So, I mean, eventually I had to, go out and get some more money, and I did. So I'm okay now. I want more. I want to get back up to where I was, and I will. I'll get there. But being that I can't work like I used to because of my injuries, I can't go out there and make money like I used to. I can't even work every day like I want to. I just can't. And I'm strong. But spinosis is it's pain all the time. And if you ever diagnosed with it, you'll find out that you had it all your life. You know what I'm saying? It's something that you had all your life. You're like, wait a minute, I didn't know this. This is why my back was hurting when I was 25. Yeah, that's why you have spinosis. Your spinal column is narrowing as you grow, and it hurts more and more and more. So, nonetheless, but as far as money is concerned, uh, and my sister lived in Atlanta, so this is why I had to do with Atlanta. All three of my sisters. Yeah, I had three sisters that lived in Atlanta. Two of them lived together. This is why I refurnished her house. She did something for me when I was 18. We lived together. I was working at Giant Eagle. I was living with her, and I got fired from Giant Eagle. They fired me from Giant Eagle because I put the soap in the same bag as the freaking salary. And I was a bag dude. I was bagging up I was bagging groceries, lady. I was 18. What you want me to do? I put the soap in with the celery. I figured they both sound like this. And then a lady called and said, hey, he put the soap in with my celery in the same bag. And they fired me from Giant Eagle for that. They didn't give me a warning. They didn't say, hey, you don't put the soap in with the celery. They just said, they didn't wait till I came back in. They just called and said, you're fired. You put the soap in with the celery. Oh, you racist bastards! Nonetheless, so it was really hard for me. I ended up working for this factory, which was right around the corner before I went into the military. But my sister took care of me, and I said, you know what? One of these days, I'm going to hook you up for that. Years later, 20, 30 years later, she didn't even remember it, but I was like, I got you. So, I got a, new washing machine. No, I got a new, yeah, washer, dryer, couch, love seat, and a bunch of other stuff. Took care of her. Then she called me and needed me to pay her rent. And I really didn't have enough to, keep doing that. And, one thing led to the other. But nonetheless, that's why I helped her out because my little sister was living with her. Uh, my little sister's like 30 something. So, and then my sister's child was living with her, and then her grandchild was also living there. So there was four family members living in the same place, and I wanted to make things better. That's why I did it. So, but nonetheless, and I don't have a remorse of doing that. I just have remorse of letting people borrow money and not getting it back when I really, really needed it and told them I really needed it. So all I'm saying is, for the hustle factor, when you get a surplus of money, make sure you have some incoming, and I had some incoming, but it wasn't like it cost me $300 just to rent the doggone car to drive to Atlanta, let alone the couple G's I spent while I was there. You know what I'm saying? Then I drove all the way to, Tennessee to see my dad, drove to North Carolina. Like, those trips cost money. If you're not making, if you didn't, like, I didn't make that 2 G's back. So I didn't make that 2, 3 G's back that I was dropping, paying for people. I didn't make it back. And being that I didn't make that money back, it just started declining. And then my last situation, I actually had to, hire some people for some things. And that's where it all went. And but nonetheless, I got a little bit of it back right now. But I'm nowhere near where I was. And I really would like to get back there. I say have about $5,000 in your pocket. 5 G's is enough to get you out of a situation. And you got to look at it like that for the hustle game. You got to look at, 5 G's in your pocket. It shouldn't make you comfortable, but it should be a survival thing. Like, I could get what I need. If I need a new bucket, 5 G's will get me, you know what I'm saying, a used bucket. If I need, get myself out of the Bing, 5 G's can, that's the way you got to think. It's your boy Tone 202, man. God loves you.